Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Recap with D. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 3 review. Y'all, I am so sick of Marsau and his grisly underbite. Starting out with this conversation with him and Maurice. I think that it was very messy. Marsau violated the G code. And he doesn't seem like the type of guy that would violate the G code, because even with the situation with Martell, he knew Martell had been cheating. He been knew. Marsau was probably one of the first guys to know. And he never once gave us any signs, any type of indication that Martell was cheating. Of course, Mel didn't know, so when it came to his brother, he instantly, the first chance he got, he threw him under the bus. I think that was messy. That's not a man in my eyes. He can never really admit to it when he's wrong. He should have apologized to Maurice. At the very least, apologized to his brother. Him saying he didn't answer the question right. He did answer the question right when Carlos asked, have you all been around Martell and the young lady to see them interact? He didn't ask, were you all on the trip? And that was a given. We all knew Maurice was on the trip. We already knew that. The heat was more so on Marsau. And Marsau is the type of guy to push the heat off of him and put it on to somebody else. In this situation, it turned out that the only way he could spin it, because all the mess of Martell was already laid out on the table, the only way he could spin it and get that heat off of him was to just throw his brother under the bus. And that's what he did. I think that, Martell saying that in order for Marsau to apologize, he has to see a reason behind it. It has to make sense to him. And Marsau comes up with like these, he seems like he be coming up with stories in his head and he believes them. Or lies, rather. He come up with lies in his head and he believes them. And I see the connection there between Martell saying it has to make sense for him to apologize for something. That's a big problem, because Marsau has an interpretation issue, it seems like. Therefore he can't interpret when he's done something wrong and when he needs to apologize for it. Marsau is definitely quick to tell people when they're wrong, and he's never easy to see it for himself. I notice Marsau is very temperamental. When the mirror is turned on him is when he starts to get kind of angry or upset. And he's been like that throughout all the seasons. That's a narcissist. Marsau, I think, is a narcissist. Period. Moving on, Tiffany. Listen, in that scene with Tiffany and Curtis, Tiffany was definitely, I would say she was in heat. She was in heat. She was trying to spice things up and get some quality time with Curtis. And I can understand that, especially with the kids being gone. But even in being in heat, she still be lying. She tried to paint a picture for Curtis as if, the conversation she was having with Kimmy, that Stormy came in and was all down her neck, and it wasn't really like that. I didn't get that vibe from Stormy. She really was just, she sat down, eating her food, joined the conversation, because that's what people do. It was a friendly environment, or it was supposed to be a friendly environment. It seemed like it was just a little chit-chat situation, and Stormy came in and just sat down and joined the conversation. Now, when you don't want somebody in your conversation, you tell them, this is a private conversation, honey. We'll acknowledge you in a minute. Tiffany be coming up with stories too, just like Marsau. Be coming up with stories in their head, or coming up with scenarios in their head, and they believe it. I think it's messed up for Tiffany to try to continue to push for Curtis and Marsau to connect. She's bringing up, you know, he has a strong personality that has absolutely nothing to do with it. As you can see, Curtis, obviously, he showed us he has a strong personality as well. That is a showdown I would love to see. I do not condone violence. Maybe, you know, boxing in the ring. But my money is on Curtis. Marsau was disrespectful at the reunion, coming at Curtis and Tiffany. Although there are things that I don't agree with from the previous season with Curtis and Tiffany getting in everybody else's business and not really being transparent. I don't agree with any of those things, but there is a way that Marsau, you know, could have said things differently and not been so harsh about it. But whatever, moving on. Like I said, my money is on Curtis, though, if there was ever a showdown between him and Marsau. Anyway, Mel and her daughter, Mariah, they have a beautiful relationship. I love seeing Mel instilling, you know, in her children, going after their goals and dreams. I love it because it starts at home. Encourage your children, people. Encourage your children. And Mel was right. She does read very well. She articulates well too. I think that Mariah might have a better chance at acting than Mel, because that was hard to watch. Mel has terrible acting skills. The classes are not working. Like I said, Mariah might have a way better chance. But we're going to leave that on the table. We're going to let it rest on the table and move on. Next, Martell is doing his little wine venture. The way his mom reacted to tasting the wine, now I want to try it. And once it hits the market, I will. Martell might be a cheater, but that don't mean I'm going to hold it against the wine. The wine deserves a chance. His mom probably was not the best product tester, at least not with the wine. But by the way their relationship is set up, I love that Martell basically admires his mom. And any man that admires his mom, it's always been a good look. Not a mama's boy, but just a man that loves and respects his mom. And honestly, she seems like the only woman he truly respects and admires. I'm not mad at Martell, you know, having a soft heart for his mom. He's still a cheater. Still, you know, maybe he can change one day. But anyway, his mom definitely has a beautiful spirit. I love their relationship. And best of wishes to his new endeavor. I will be trying out that wine. Moving on. Marsau and Tisha. They have some beautiful kids. I just want to say that they got some beautiful children, and I love, you know, them making s'mores together. I liked seeing Marsau and Tisha in a different light. I can't really remember in previous seasons them, you know, having a whole scene with the kids and interacting with them like that. I vaguely remember seeing them, but not like this. So this was a nice little moment seeing this. The children articulate very well. At least they are good at parenting and running businesses, but being decent human beings, they failed that test. They fail it every single time. Anyway, I hate how Marsau, you know, trying to explain the conversation he and Maurice and Martell had, as if Maurice and Martell was ambushing him or double teaming him. But that's Marsau. That's just how he gets down. Anyway, moving on to Martell and the kids' book signing. I think that Martell, and I'm not trying to come down on him for this particular instance, but I think that he should have been more aware of his situation, his own personal situation, and had a better plan, you know, by the time for the book signing. He knew it wasn't his time. At the same time, I think that Mel was being messy. Mel was being messy. She could have definitely made it happen. She could have made sure the kids made it there at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes. But this was the only scene out of all 4 seasons where I had a heart for Martell. I really felt for him. It seemed like it really did hurt his feelings. I hope this is not all scripted, but it was heartbreaking to watch that. And if like he said, if the kids were really looking forward to this book signing, man, Mel really dropped the ball on this one, because you don't do things in a way where it affects the children. And I thought they were gonna show up, because from the pre-clip they made it seem like the kids wasn't coming, but usually they do that in them pre-clips where they make it seem one way, and then once they show you the actual scene, it turned out totally different. When I saw her preparing to get the kids in the car and all that, I really didn't think it was gonna turn out like that. Like, she really did not let the kids go to the book signing. That was messed up, and you could tell Martell was really excited. He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. He's a good father. We can't take that away from him. Now, Martell in the first season was the one, that was very active in the children's lives. He was taking them to school and everything, and he was still, handling business with Mel, in the real estate industry. Marsau, on the other hand, he was the one that really didn't want to deal with the children. So I think it's messed up that Mel is giving him a hard time when it comes to the kids. But who knows? We don't really know the ins and outs of everything. They just showing us what they want to show us on TV. So yes, Martell, he needs more credit for his parenting. He's not a bad father. He's just a bad spouse. But yes, I'm looking forward to the next episode, because I really want them to get more into this situation with Tisha's cousin going to Mel's Christmas party. Hopefully they give us more insight on that. I do think she's a backstabber, because Tisha is her cousin. Although I don't really like Tisha because she's a little slow, I still think she's a backstabber. But I'm going to wait for this next episode and see, how she explains this whole situation. Anyway, that's my review on Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 4, Episode 3. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video, guys. See you in the next one.